What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Breaking Bet here on this Wednesday, November 5th. I got my favorite co-host with me, my guy, longtime friend, great mind for sports, Brad Thomas, rocking an Alabama shirt. I missed you, Brad. How was your weekend?
Oh, man, how was my weekend? I think it was pretty chill. Listen, my wife took full advantage of the Bucks and Alabama both being on a bye, right? So Saturday we did something. I can't remember. I can't even tell you what we did on Saturday. And then Sunday we went to the theme park. So like we were pretty much no football really. Like I lie. I watched football obviously on my phone, but you know what I mean. Like nothing crazy.
Yeah, I hear you. I called you after Sunday. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Well, I'm going up to Disney. Going up to. I'm like, dude, what? Why?
dude.
And that don't
I
make
watched.
sense.
I watched the Chiefs game on my phone at the park. We were
I'm sure your
like
wife's so bad.
going through we were going to like Star Wars, whatever it's called, Star Wars Land. And like we were we were literally right there. I was like, we gotta wait a little until I think it was I can't remember who came out, until one of those guys came out, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just putting this shit on top of the stroller. You know how like strollers have the flat part? I just
Yeah.
set it up there like it was my own little TV. It was hilarious.
That's really funny. I was like, Penelope's getting the treatment now that you had your teams out on the shelf this week. So
Yeah.
you had a day. But we got a lot to talk about. We have a couple highlights to talk about that I know we were really excited about on Sunday for the preview show. But before we get into that, man, week 9 was pretty much the polar opposite of week 8. This is the tough part about the NFL, right? 1 week, favorites clean the slate, they run the board. The next week, dogs are barking like a kennel. That's the push and pull, the chess match of trying to handicap the NFL on a week-to-week basis. So what do you think we get here in week 10?
Man, the dust has settled, right? Like a lot of these teams have made the moves they felt necessary to make them better for the future or worse. I think we see a lot of teams really start to separate themselves now, right? Like we see a lot of teams that they know like this is the time of year where they're either going to get better or they're going to get worse. And those teams that are get worse and get worse really fast. Like I think like the Jets, right? Like the Jets, a 2-point underdog to the Browns this week, theoretically could be playing like a team that's going to be a 4.5 point dog. So I think we see some of these teams that kind of start. This is the time they start to go into give up mode.
Some of these things were crazy. We definitely have a lot of interesting games on the board. Look at my guy, Ben Hostler. What's up, Ben? Dude, Ben's hit a couple, bro. Ben has hit a couple of these big long shot tutties. I think he had Elijah Arroyo on Sunday night for the Seattle Washington game.
Oh, dude, same. Hell yeah.
And you know what? It sucks because sometimes I don't see him until it's too late. So like I can't put in like all my books down here. I'm having a tough time with hard rock verification. So I can't put anything in. So I have to call somebody to do it. So like by the time I see this stuff, it's too late. And then I just see Elijah Arroyo scampering down the sideline. I'm like, dude, you got to be kidding me. I missed it. The Torrey Horton legacy game.
Oh my God.
Only might be one game with the Rashid Shaheed edition. I'm a little mad I missed the Torrey Horton game.
I chased Torrey Horton touchdowns. I've bet him like 3
hard
weeks.
Though. That's like, bro, that is like the epitome of trying to hit a Troy Franklin or a Marvin Mims for Denver. Like these guys that are game-breaking type of abilities, but they're hard to just square up because they got to get a couple of these deep balls go their way, or they got to take advantage of a busted coverage. It's been a good season. Love the content. Yo, mutual respect, buddy. Game recognized game. Appreciate the love as always.
It.
For me, dude, first of all, I can't believe it's week 10 already. Like, what's happening? This always happens. I always have this feeling, every time, every season where it's like, dude, we're so far along. I remember saddling up for week 1. Now we're 10 weeks in. The playoff pictures are crystallizing a little bit. We're getting a feel of maybe who's real, who's not, who's got the ability with a second half push to really get where they want to be for the postseason. So there's a lot left to be determined. It's getting interesting, that's for sure. But you know what's not interesting is a Thursday night game this week. Bradford, the Raiders are 8.5-point dogs at Denver, divisional opponent. Where have we seen this before? Except it's not the home dog. So let me start here.
Yeah.
The Raiders played a crazy game against Jacksonville. So I was watching the game a little bit.
Yeah.
Because frankly, there was two more appealing games for my purposes on at the same time. But I think this game had like, what was it, like 13 or 14 total points after the third quarter or after halftime.
Yeah.
And then they scored 60 combined. Is that right? Did they score 60 combined from after the third quarter? It was something incredible. But anyway, it finished really, really interesting. You were all over the Brock Bowers hit. Welcome back game.
Dude, that was amazing.
Tutties, a $127, 12 grabs. I mean, this dude went nuts. And ultimately, the Raiders didn't end up converting the 2-point conversion to win the game. But in any case, they're going to Denver here. Divisional game. I mean, the Vegas really doesn't – they're not going anywhere this season, but – do they play spoiler to the Denver Broncos as it looks like they're starting to get their groove back?
Man, I don't know. I don't think so. Listen, playing at altitude with a team that I don't think plays very hard, like unfortunately for the Raiders. Like I don't think that's a team that I'm like, man, this Raiders team, even though they keep losing, they're playing really hard.
Yeah.
It's a team that in all aspects of the game, they're just not good, right? Like,
yeah.
Now they lose Jacoby Myers. I know they get Brock Bowers back, but you just taking away another weapon against a really talented secondary.
Yep.
I did some digging before this, and I was like, because we keep saying, it's just like one of those things where the Denver defense is not as elite as it was before, which is fair. It's factual. But this still is a team that's like, and I don't want to go off the top of my head. I think I have the stats somewhere right here. There's a team that's first in defensive success rate in the NFL, which is like a really big thing to do. They will be without Patrick Surtain for at least one more week. But I just think that as a defensive unit as a whole, especially being able to get pressure on Geno Smith, it'll disrupt everything. I think the Denver Broncos cover by margin. It's going to be one of those Thursday boring games where like the Raiders have like 3 points and they're in the fourth quarter and we're like, are they going to pull their starters? Because I laddered Brock Bowers receiving yards and I probably shouldn't,
Yeah, I'm in agreement here, man. I mean, some of these Thursday night games could be appealing unless maybe the Raiders get up for this one on the road on a short week against a vastly superior team. But I don't think so. Geno Smith, extremely turnover prone. The only reason why they were able to hang in last week was because it was against Jacksonville, which we were both waiting for the shoe to drop after a few weeks. We're like, I don't really think this is a 4-1 team. And then after they beat Kansas City, it's like, oh, well, maybe they're for real. No. I think we're starting to really see that in Jacksonville. And that's the reason why I think the Raiders were able to hang in there. Definitely an entertaining game from perspective with Ashton Genty and Brock Bowers. But Geno Smith, man, he'll take sacks. He'll throw picks. And look, man, Denver hasn't had that season yet that we've been waiting for. But let's say this. They have won 6 in a row. Quietly. They're 7-2.
Yep.
They are first in the division, which if you remember, Denver was a team I liked to win the AFC West. They were north of 3-1, which I thought was too big. And look, after the first month, I'm like, I don't know if we're seeing this Denver team that I, along with a lot of other people, anticipated. Going to build off a really good year one from Bo Nix. Their defense didn't look great. Their offense was just too hit or miss. They let the Titans hang around week 1. They blow the game to the Colts. The Colts are a good team or not, it was irrelevant. That was a game they absolutely should have won. Week 3 at the Chargers, they kind of dicked around and then let the Chargers beat them last second. The Bengals, they beat Jake Browning. It's not really impressive. They go on the road the next week, have a good win at Philly. At Philly, 1:00 start. That was a good win. Although we can also say even against a good team, they didn't look complete. The Jets, they barely beat 13-11 in London or overseas. And then before that, they were getting blown out to the Giants. It took a heroic Herculean fourth quarter comeback / giant meltdown for them to win. But since that fourth quarter, this team has been playing great football, dude. They come back against the Giants, who, look, they're not a good team, but they're competitive. They're one of these teams that's not, hey, they're going to make a run this year, but they can absolutely go on the road and beat one of these top teams. That's the kind of team the Giants are, and that's a quality win, obviously. And then Dallas, they dismantled. Yeah. And then they find a way to go grind it out on the road at the Texans. And, look, CJ Stroud gets hurt, whatever. But we're starting to see it come together from Houston. And, on a short week, they're at home against a turnover-prone quarterback. I know it's a big number, but I think Denver runs away here with this game. I'm sure it's going to be a very heavily bet side, but I like Denver laying 8.5 here.
Yep.
Short of a backdoor cover, obviously, but
I mean, I just feel like a backdoor cover would be so inevitable. Not inevitable. It would be so improbable, improbable. Wow, I can't talk. Just because I just don't think this Raiders team is going to be able to handle the pressure well. And so when you're talking about a Raiders team that probably could have, should have went offensive line in the draft, they went with a luxury piece, like they were a luxury team. I think when they're in obvious passing downs, it's pin your ears back and just go get Geno. I might bet some sacks in this game.
Yeah, I think I liked it as well. Look, sometimes it's hard with the props here, but the big pass catcher right now for the Raiders is Brock Bowers. You got Trey Tucker in there, but Brock Bowers is going to be the focal point of the defense to try and contain and stop. When you're dealing with matchups lopsided like this, it becomes difficult to bet props. Like it's 66.5 for Brock Bowers right now. Is that too high? I mean, they're probably going to be force feeding him, but at what point does the volume outweigh or not outweigh just the constant attention against a good defense?
Yeah, my problem is he's going to get the volume, but you have two things that are going against him, maybe three. When he touches that ball, they're going to freaking tackle the shit out of him. You can have injury insurance for the under there. Also, I genuinely believe this game is going to be a blowout. And then also he's the only real receiving threat on that offense. So they can try to scheme him out of the game. This is one of those scenarios where Brock Bowers is not, you're not going to stop Brock Bowers. It's just not going to happen. What you want to do is not make him take over the game. He should not have 3 touchdowns, 100 yards against you. If he has 50 yards and 1 touchdown, you probably live with it if you're the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly see that. Is there anything else that you'd be looking at here? I mean, RJ Harvey, I don't know, he's just getting in the end zone nonstop. He is 2-1 to score, especially if it's a blowout. I mean, he's getting work in both the receiving and the rush. I think RJ Harvey plus 200 is an appeal to score, especially if Denver ends up being up big. Harvey could get extended touches. He can obviously take one from anywhere on the field. Dobbins minus 130, of course, is fair, but I think in a game that could be a projected blowout, maybe something along the lines of an RJ Harvey rush receiving over 39.5. I think that's solid.
I just feel like RJ Harvey's lines are always are so low this season. You know what I mean? This season, recently, excuse me, where I feel like you just kind of want to attack them. I like his receiving prop the most. He's a guy who is catching a lot of those little swings out of the backfield, and he's explosive. Has been in college. I mean, was in college, has been now translating to the NFL. You can get 12.5. I might bet this right now. You can get 12.5 at dang, best price is minus 118. I would take that. Opened at 10.5 to be truly transparent, but the only book that opened it at 10.5 was Fanatics. So that's take that with a grain of salt, because Fanatics and Bet Rivers can be books. They have the lowest lines always because they don't have open limits.
So let's look at how the game breakdowns have gone. Let's just look at the last 2 weeks. So at Houston, which is a great defense, he only had 2 carries for 5 yards.
Yeah.
But he had 5 catches on 5 targets for 51 and a tud. The week before, he had against Dallas in the blowout, he had 7 carries for 46 yards, 2 tutties, and he only had 1 target for 5 yards and a tutty.
I was on
the week
him.
before was
I was on his receiving yards, and I think that touchdown was late, if I remember correctly. And I was like, no way. He just caught it for 5 yards for a touchdown. I needed 9.5 or 8.5.
RJ Harvey has 5 touchdowns in the last 3 games. So 2-1's interesting. But here's the thing, right? Reading the tea leaves. In the games that are blowouts, in the games that they're blowing teams out and they're ahead, a la Dallas, a la Cincinnati earlier this year,
Yeah,
they haven't really blown teams out. Tennessee, he had 6 for 70, but that was the 50-yard run.
Yep.
So Denver's only blown teams out a couple times. And in those games, RJ Harvey is getting more carries. He's not getting a ton, but he's getting more. So
who they play in week 4?
Week 4, they played the Bengals.
That Cincinnati?
Blowout. Yeah, 14 carries, 58, but they were up 28-3. And he had 4 receptions for 5 targets, 40 yards, and a touchdown. RJ Harvey got 6 touchdowns this year. Pretty cool. But anyway, my point is this. The reason why I like the rush receiving is because if Denver gets up big, they might not throw him the ball as much, but they might hand it off to him. So that actually just moved from 38.5 to 39.5 as we're talking about it. But I think Harvey 39.5 is still fair. I think he's probably good up to like 45.5.
Yeah, I like it. I'm going to be interested in RJ Harvey. I'm going to try to stay a little bit away from props in this game, but I think that's one where I can dissect that. We can dissect that. You did a good job.
Yeah, I might take a look. The receivers are just it's so tough. Maybe like a Bo Nix rush. What's the Bo Nix rush looking like? That situation's 20.5. I think Bo Nix might be solid here for a little run ski.
What is his number?
Let's see. 20.5.
20.5.
Hang on. So Nix
36. He only ran the ball once.
36 last week, 48. So he's had an 18, 20, 33, 7, 22, 24, 48, -1, which was against Dallas, and then 36. I think Nix is interesting. So the 2 games that were the biggest blowouts for Denver, he didn't do a whole lot on the ground. But 20.5 is interesting. You're probably gonna have to contend with that kneel down too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So maybe like a Bo Nix alt rushing at like 15 yards in a parlay might be decent. But in any case, I think there's some opportunities. I'll probably throw a few things in here. Maybe parlay like Harvey over 39 rush receiving, Harvey tutty, Broncos -8.5, or maybe take that down to like 6.5. Bo Nix 15 rush yards. It's small, but maybe take something like that for to get some action in for this one. All right, let's move on here. Atlanta at Indy. The NFL gave us a break on the overseas games, but they're back with the dumbest fucking thing in the world. I can't tell you how much I hate overseas games. I hate them. I hate them. They're the dumbest thing ever. Let's prepare for another piece of shit product game between Atlanta and Indy. Indy is a 6.5-point favorite off a loss. Atlanta found another new way to shit the bed at after playing, honestly, a really good game. Brad, let's call it what it is. We were dead wrong at Indy last week.
Dead
wrong. But the Colts, they were up 7-0. They were looking good to start. And then I saw somebody tweet, the Steelers hit the Daniel Jones reset factory settings. And
It felt like it.
yeah, and then the Colts fell apart. They turned the ball over 5 or 6 times. A lot of short field, extra possessions for Pittsburgh, and that's why they won. Look, they won by 10, which seems like a lot, but considering the amount of takeaways they got, it could have been a much bigger margin. I'll say this. We have been talking about for a while. When is that shoe going to drop on Indy? When is that other shoe going to happen? Where look, they're playing up here, and this is what they are right now. But we have felt that they're not really at this level. They're waiting for a drop off. What does that drop off look like? They might actually be here in reality, but they've been playing here. So when does that start happening? Now, look, I still think the Colts are a good team. They're a surprise in the NFL this year. I didn't think they were going to be that good. I didn't think Daniel Jones was going to be that good. And I think they have an identity. Their formula travels. But obviously, Daniel Jones started turning the ball over, and then there goes that. The Colts defense, there was a fumbled punt, like a muffed punt. I think they ended up getting a stop on that, though. But still, they took the offense out of rhythm. Jonathan Taylor, by default, wasn't able to get much. The Steelers did a great job there. Look, I think the Colts are not as good as what we've seen all year, but I think they're obviously a lot better than what they showed last week. Now, Atlanta's interesting. Atlanta should have beat New England. There was a thing where a team that hadn't turned the ball over, that gained X amount of yards, stacked the quarterback X amount of times, were undefeated. I'm sorry, I don't have the stat in front of me, but basically what Atlanta's loss was historic at New England, considering the path of what they did. But Penny and London, dude, that was in sync. They looked really, really good. Kind of waiting for that. Like, saw that in the Buffalo game, but we haven't had a lot of those performances. But finally got one, a 100-piece, 3 tutties. But 6.5 is a lot of points, especially when we talk about it. These overseas games always tend to be wonky and weird. And Atlanta, I mean, I don't think the Colts are 6.5 points better than Atlanta on a neutral field overseas. I don't think Atlanta's that good. I didn't buy the Kool-Aid. I didn't drink the Kool-Aid preseason. I don't think Indy's as great of a team, like the number 1 seed type of team. Fundamentally, they're a lot better than Atlanta, with the exception of last week, really. I think I would take Atlanta to cover this 6.5.
I don't hate it. I actually like Bijan to go over his rushing. This is a insane buy low spot for Bijan Robinson. Bijan hasn't eclipsed this 50-yard rush mark in 3 straight weeks, 3 straight L's. 2 of the 3 they were playing from a losing position the whole game against the Colts team that has like a 69 PFF rush grade, maybe 63. They're about 13th or 14th in EPA per rush on defense. It's a scenario where I think this game can remain close, but also it's a scenario where Bijan doesn't need to be excellent. He just needs to get the volume, and he hasn't really been able to get the volume. He needs to be like an 18 carry back, not just 18 to 20 when they're just blowing teams out. I like his rush prop a lot, and I call me crazy, but call me crazy. Here's my number. I don't know. That song popped in my head. I like Bijan's receiving under, and it's not because I think he's going to go under, but I think it's starting to be like a buy low, right? Like 44.5. He's normally like a 32 guy, and then he's just gone on this absolute insane tear. 100, 68, 52, 23, 50. And now they are pushing his numbers up to 45. Soon he'll be at Christian McCaffrey numbers. And he's just not a guy who really gets targeted like that. He's 52 targets on the season, which is high for a running back. But like some of these, like 5, 6, 5, 5, those 3. If this game is a neutral game script, I think he's not going to get targeted as much. Obviously, they want to get the ball in his hands. It's scary, but I just think if you're playing against the number, it's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. Ever since that 81-yard touchdown run, I saw a number. Bijan's really not been that good. against Buffalo, that 81-yard touchdown run. It really hasn't been that good. Now it's a combination of Atlanta has played from behind. They've been stuck in the mud, but Bijan's really been silent the last few games. We haven't really seen that Bijan-esque performance. Jonathan Taylor, no surprise. He's back up to 91.5. I didn't anticipate the books really falling off there. JT still minus 350 to get in the end zone. Bijan's minus 140. Lundy's 140. Colts got Sauce Gardner, gave up 2 firsts. That's a big haul.
Like 2 firsts and a player. They gave up 80 Mitchell, but
so if we're talking other props in this game, Brad, what do we think perhaps about Tyler Warren getting in the end zone?
What, he's now been 2 weeks without scoring a touchdown?
Yeah, are we a Tyler Warren believer this week? Atlanta actually, ironically, has allowed the fewest touchdowns to tight ends.
Atlanta's really good against tight ends.
They've been great. They've been honestly the best team against tight ends, believe it or not.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, I know. I just feel like I know that just because I'm a Bucs fan. They're just really good against tight ends. They pretty much, we had a tight end coming off of, K-Dot was coming off an injury, so I don't even think K-Dot had recorded a reception. And then they played against the Bills. I think the Bills had Dalton Kincaid was out that game, so was Dawson Knox. That makes total sense. And then they didn't play against George Kittle. I mean, they had George Kittle, who ran 5,000 routes but didn't get a reception. Played 82% of the snaps in that game. What?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, then Zach Ertz had, how many yards did Zach Ertz have? Like 23 or something. But Marcus Mariota only passed for like 50 yards. 21. Wow. Shit, I was really close. I just think like that's like also an empty stat. Like an empty thing. Yes, they're last against tight ends, but really they played in some very advantageous situations against tight ends. For that number like that.
I'm looking elsewhere. I think this is a solid game for Tyler Algier to get in the end zone plus 320. Algier's been sneaking some of these Bijan tutties away from him. I think 320 is a big number. I would look at Tyler Algier. Michael Pittman's had a good year, plus 160 maybe. I think the best bang for your buck, though, is probably Algier 320.
That's fun.
Because Atlanta's got confidence in him. So sometimes he'll come in and vulture. But all right, let's get it rolling. Jacksonville at Houston. Texans, I feel like they've been home for the last month.
My God.
They're going against Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence. They had a very tight win at the Raiders in the annals of overtime. Houston looks like, after losing C.J. Stroud, that they are going to be rolling with Davis Mills in all likelihood. Look, Davis Mills is not really anything special, but Jacksonville,
long neck.
He does, but they're a hot mess. I don't think I want anything in this game.
Dude, this game is scary because it's not like you're not just like, if you're trying to fade Davis Mills, you're not just fading him. You're also like trusting that the Texans defense can't get to Trevor Lawrence. This could be like one of those games where Trevor Lawrence sees a ton of pressure in his face all game, and he makes a lot of really bad decisions. And then people are like, well, we bet the Texans because they have Davis Mills and that your offense is not really good. But then you forget they're going to be playing on short fields and make life really easy for Davis Mills. For me, like, this is an okay stay away. Like, I'm okay with just letting this game go by.
I got to be honest. I don't know if Davis Mills is that much of a downgrade from Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I mean,
like
Davis Mills, Davis Mills was spinning the rock for the first 3 drives.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if he's that big of a downgrade. You know what I mean? And the defensive edge clearly goes to Houston. I've been waiting on that Woody Marks break. I thought he was gonna have a big game last week. I was really disappointed. I don't like their usage of him. You notice, they had, I think, 6 or 7 chances from the 1 yard line over the course of the game. From what I saw, None of them went to Woody Marks. It was literally everybody but Woody Marks. Nick Chubb, Dario Ogunbowale lined up from the fullback position. Quarterback sneaks with Mills or Stroud. Maybe even a tight end tush-push situation. Everybody but Woody Marks was getting the chances from the one. I don't like their lack of usage for him. But this game stay away anyway. All right, Giants at the Bears, 4.5, pushing a Royal Mint. How about our boy? We're all over it. The Kyle Monangai legacy game.
Dude.
Went nuclear. Ben Johnson definitely in the running for president of Cuck Nation. Pretty much everybody, 40 points for the Bears. Pretty much everybody on the offense scored, except for the guy who did the most fucking work. Kyle Monangai got no scores. Every single person was getting in the end zone for the Bears. Like, how did Monangai not score? They didn't look like they were so motivated to let him get in the end zone. I was disgusted with it. But he had an unreal game, man. First career start. Super proud seeing him do what he's done. Come a long way from seeing him as basically a baby running around on our Pop Warner practice fields with ball, basically in diapers. Now he's ripping it up against the Giants. I wish this game was at the Meadowlands. He probably score 3 touchdowns in front of his family.
Yeah.
Friends, hometown. But look, man, it's not a guarantee that DeAndre Swift is back this week. Monangai, I think at this point, first of all, he had the perfect matchup to really make his mark. But at least for another week, I don't think he's going anywhere. I think Monangai's carved out a role for himself. There's no props up yet, rushing-wise for this game.
Yeah.
But Swift right now looks like he's scheduled to play. Funny part is Swift's minus 175 to score. Monangai's minus 175. It's predatory behavior from FanDuel. Yeah. Absolutely predatory behavior. But very interested to see how that's going to go. Wouldn't be surprised if Swift was held out another week. But in any case, Brad, this is approaching Royal Mint territory. Do you like the Bears here to keep going?
I do. I felt like the New York Giants really struggled to move the ball late in that game. And we talked about those tough short yardage situations where it'd be really hard to get to move the chains if you don't have Scattaboo. The Bears looked good. The Bears offense is finally cooking. They're finally starting to get into that Ben Johnson groove. I like the 4.5, but this Giants team is no pushover. They're like, once again, it reminds me of 2 seasons ago with the Giants where they were really bad, but they covered like every game.
Yeah. I don't have a feel on the side yet. I'll probably look at some props here. Yeah. I'm interested to see when they drop what does the rushing props look like? Carries, longest rush, yards is definitely is DeAndre Swift definitely playing? That's clearly a big one. We've gotten some prompts early this week. What do you say? Let's see. Yeah, it's DeAndre Swift at 60.5 on MGM only. There is nothing for Kyle Monangai. Is there? Is there a Kyle prompt? I don't see. Yeah, I don't see anything for Kyle. So that'll be something to keep an eye out for. But otherwise, I don't really have much of a feel in this game. Yeah. Possibly a Jackson Dart rushing touchdown. I mean, that's not bad. Dart's 195 right now, but this is not much of a game otherwise for me. Ravens, Vikings. Ravens are 4.5 at the Vikings. Brad, is it me or does this feel like a major Minnesota letdown game?
Dude, it feels like a major letdown spot. They were phenomenal. Freaking JJ McCarthy was trying to silence all the haters. but it still feels like a weird letdown spot. Like it feels like that game welcoming JJ back was like the Super Bowl for this team. I'm still like I talked about this already, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but with the Baltimore Ravens, success was coming when they got Lamar back, and all the teams in their divisions were kind of faltering. Like there's a light at the end of the tunnel for them now. So I think they just continue to get better defensively. Number one is where they need to improve, but it was nice to see Derrick Henry be able to run the ball effectively. We know Minnesota stinks against the run. I think all signs point to a Ravens win and cover.
Yeah, we were on the Lions too. Dead wrong on the Lions. I was surprised. Dan Campbell, boy, oh boy. I can't believe they got bullied. The Vikings did to them what the Lions do to other teams. If I'm not mistaken, that was off the bye too, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen very often. So it was surprising that not only did they not cover, but they lost outright. Minnesota looked like they really, really got up for that game. I couldn't believe it. But I was also really confused. Why was Jahmyr Gibbs not getting involved? Why did they not get him the ball? I don't even think he had 15 touches. That's unacceptable. It's just you see these scores, and when you really look at it, the best player didn't even get the ball.
Yeah.
Very, very odd. Minnesota's pass rush really got home. They were in Jared Goff's lap all day long. But I think here with the Ravens, with the mobile Lamar, Derrick Henry, I still don't know if I'm buying this Vikings defense like how it was last year. I think the Ravens are set for a big second half. I think Minnesota's in a letdown game here. I just don't know if they're going to have an answer for Lamar. Derrick Henry has got his boy back. And like you said, the Baltimore defense is going to continue to get better. I like the Ravens to cover this one. I'll probably put this one on my card. Props. Let's see what we got here. We'll get more into it. There's not a ton. Anything on Jettas, maybe? You think what are you thinking of Jettas this weekend for against any one of the Ravens corners? Maybe Marlon Hump. Jettas is 75.5 on MGM. The only thing up.
He was just 72 last week. 70, and he was plus money for 6 receptions last week. I think that he can have a big game. My only problem is like I don't know if I trust what I saw out of JJ to continue week in and week out, right? Like I think JJ is still a major work in progress, and this is like not me shitting on him. Like I think JJ can be a good quarterback eventually, but I think there's still a work in progress with him. I'd probably pass on Justin Jefferson. Could feel like it could be a letdown against it could be a spot where you're like, man, this defense is really good, really shit, and like this prop should be really good, but it kind of doesn't get there, and we're wondering what happened. And it's not because Jefferson wasn't open, but it was kind of the letdown from JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, touchdown wise, Lamar to get in the end zone. I like that. I think Lamar can get in the end zone this week. I think Henry at minus 145, very good price. And if I'm taking a touchdown score for Minnesota, Jordan Addison, baby. Jordan Addison always sneaks up on you. Everybody loves Jay Jettas, but Addison's always sneaking in. He's getting those good matchups, and boy oh boy, he finds a way to get behind the defense. Ravens 10 touchdowns allowed to receivers this year. You got to think there's going to be a lot of attention on Jefferson. Addison should have some favorable looks. I think that's one of the better ones. Lamar, Addison 180, Henry minus 145. Probably my 3 favorite touchdown scorers this week. Cleveland at the Jets, not much there for me. I don't really have much of a feel. Jets are in full sell mode. It's honestly that's honestly a complete pass for me. No props. Maybe some Myles Garrett sacks when they come out, but not much else.
Listen, Quinton Judkins, full participant. This defense should be get shredded. Do we take a risk on Judkins, or we just pass and wait to fade the Jets run D next week?
Judkins is 84.5, 85.5, like a couple of those big games. Like, do you remember in like week 3 or week 4 against I'm like, dude, the last time we're gonna get this guy plus 255 to score. And his yardages were so low, and then he just went straight to the moon like fucking Bitcoin.
I remember Judkins' first game. I bet his longest rush was 6.5.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't like this game. I want to fade the Jets in some capacity, but I don't know if I'm going to do it on the ground or do it on the spread.
Yeah. Not much there for me. Saints Panthers, current Royal Mint spot. Brad, I think this is a New Orleans game. I think Carolina.
Tell me, talk to me.
Okay. All right, I'll talk to you. Carolina, crazy win at Green Bay. 14-point dog. Go to Lambeau, win outright. But Green Bay had to have a lot of mistakes to even have a chance to win. They're missing chip shot field goals. First mistake, they're giving the ball to Savion Williams. Fumbles deep in Carolina territory. Drop passes, dumb penalties. Like, it was an array of things. Carolina's offense didn't even score 20 points in that game.
No.
And they won. It's very bizarre. And, the big thing is Carolina was terrible on the road this year. They're much better at home. But they've been an underdog pretty much every week. Now they're a favorite, laying almost 6 points. Big difference between covering as a dog versus a favorite. And, it's a damn near 20-point swing from last week. In 1 week, one team, that's tough. So New Orleans in division, Royal Mint spot, obviously. And we talk about this every week, bro. New Orleans plays hard. Yeah. They're competitive. They're not good, but they're competitive. And I don't know if Carolina is that good. I think New Orleans' defense can get after a little bit. Rico Dowdle's been amazing. I don't know where this fucking came from. I really don't. I'm in shock that Rico Dowdle has been as good as he has. Granted, it's been some butter matchups, but he's played really well. Tet McMillan's a dog, no doubt. Yeah. And New Orleans just traded Rashid Shaheed away, right? It doesn't make any sense, but this is like a prime New Orleans Saints upset spot. I think the Saints cover. I think they have a shot to win here. Maybe get some Taysom Hill in, but I just don't know if I like Carolina laying damn near 6 points.
Man, 6 is a lot. 6 is a big number. Like, it's like we're 6 for a team that's not that great. But then when I go and I think about it and I look at the Carolina Panthers, like, you wouldn't guess that they're 5-4. You wouldn't guess that they're second in their division. You wouldn't guess that they've had wins over some teams that, you could probably be excited about. And when I mean excited about it, I'm like holding my tongue a little bit because I was talking about the Falcons. It was a divisional foe, which is really exciting for them. But they also beat the Green Bay Packers in a game where it wasn't their best offensively. I think they had 260 total yards. They were outpossessed, but they created turnovers when necessary, and they held on. Ended up kicking a game-winning field goal in that game, and that's something you can hang your hat on. That we've said there have been spots for this Carolina Panthers team where they basically just used momentum to carry them into the next game, and we'll talk about that second week of the season. They played against the Arizona Cardinals, and even though the Cardinals beat them by 5, they scored on four straight possessions unanswered, and made that game close. Brought that momentum in and beat the Falcons 30-0. I think they've just consistently had moments where they've kind of just brought that momentum into the next game. And the Saints haven't had any aspect of their offense that I've been like, hell yeah, man, I want to bet on the Saints. Saints are 31st in EPA per play. Success rate, the Saints are 25th. EPA per rush, the Saints don't run the ball well, in near 30. EPA per pass, I think EPA pass, they got to be last, right? No, actually, they're not. EPA per pass, they're 30th. So I just can't find a reason to bet the Saints other than if I think that it's too many points for a team that's ultimately not that good. But talking about the running the ball, the Saints are a really good run defense. Like that's what they have. Can they stop Rico Dowdle? That is the question.
Like 2025, we're talking about if you can stop Rico Dowdle. What the fuck?
Hilarious.
What's happening?
Rico
By
Dowdle's
the
like
way,
minus 150 to score a touchdown.
like, what is life right now? By the way, quick shout out. One of the best purchases you can make in life. Publix. I'm sure other food stores have it. Hard-boiled eggs in a bag. They sell. I don't have to boil anything. I go pick it up. It's like $3 for this. This is one of the best purchases a person
I get
can
those
make.
when I go on vacation because like I don't want to like just stuff my face with shit food like
Mhm.
in the morning. And those are lit.
It's literally the best. I love it.
Yeah.
When I saw this like a couple months ago, I'm like, oh my god, this is an absolute game changer. So sorry. Just
Oh,
got
you're good.
pumped. Bro. I was moving weight today. Forget it. It was chest day, back
Oh,
day.
yeah.
I had to cut it short so I could hustle home. Getting stuck in this South Florida traffic where it took me like 30 minutes to get home. They were just everywhere it was blocked, and people don't want to get out of my way. It was nuts. So I had to like cut my workout short. All right, Buffalo at Miami, 9.5 points. Excuse me. Big spread here. 9.5 points is a lot, especially
Yeah.
division. Everything would tell me you know what, man, Miami 9.5 at home, it's a lot. There's just no way I could take Miami. Just no way. Bro, I was at that game last week. I was at the Ravens-Dolphins game. I was on the Ravens. I had you put the Ravens straight bet minus 7.5 in. Miami had all these stats and still got blown the fuck out. Granted, there was a big play to Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
Early could have had some momentum for Miami. You don't know how it goes, but chances are he still gets smoked. And Ollie Gordon got called for tripping or a chop block, and he clearly slipped. Miami was able to move the ball, and they still got skunked. They got past the sticks. I understand it's a divisional game, but where are they going to be able to do this? Now, granted, I think Buffalo. I was wrong last week. I thought Kansas City was going to win that game the way they played. Buffalo, man, got to give it up. You knew they were getting up for that game. Their defense has been a disaster, and they had helped Patrick Mahomes to his worst outing. It was like, so some of these things don't make sense. But there's just no way I could take Miami. There's none. I have nothing to go off of. We're sitting here on Wednesday night having this conversation.
Yeah.
Like, they should shred the Dolphins. And let me tell you something. This is November. It's not September. Weather-wise, it's a big deal. It's a big difference.
Yep.
You know, it might be 75, 80 down in South Florida this weekend, but it's not like the humidity and just brutal heat you would get in September. I think Buffalo wins this game, dude. I do. It's not because I believe so much in the Bills. It's just because Miami is so goddamn bad.
Yeah, I think they win and cover. Man, the Dolphins are just so weird because they've had moments of, wow, this looks like an okay team. And by moments, I mean like glimpses, not like full force.
Like New England, like the New England game, they actually showed up.
Yeah, but the Bills are just on such an emotional letdown spot right now. Like,
Yeah, I
there's
do.
no bigger emotional letdown because the only thing that's important to Josh Allen is beating Patrick Mahomes. And I don't care what anyone says. Like, it just feels like when they play the Chiefs in the regular season, they expend so much energy. They treat it like a playoff game.
Yeah,
So it just feels like a major letdown spot, and I don't want to be a part of it.
you might be right. We'll see if my opinion changes on Sunday, but I will tell you what I'm looking at. I really am curious to see what the Devon Achane receptions are. I was on the 5.5 last week at plus money. That hit. I think this could be a big game for Achane in the receiving game. So I'll be looking forward to that one. All right, baby. New England at Tampa, 2.5. Bucks off the bye. Bucks
I will
getting
be
healthy.
there.
Are you going to the game?
I'll be there. Yeah. So this is my birthday celebration trip. It's a couple weeks early, but we normally go down to Miami. This year, we're doing this game because the Pats are going to be here. My best friend's birthday's the day before mine, so I'll be at the game. Going to be tailgating. Getting there at like, dude, I'm setting up my tailgate at like 8:00 in the morning.
Nice. Happy birthday, you little slut.
Dude, it's still like 3 weeks away, but this is the celebration.
Nice. Well, that's why you can't make it this week. I mean, you could always live stream. You could always do it for the game, half in the bag.
I'm be having a cocktail. I don't know, man.
All right, Brad, look, here's the deal. New England should have lost last week. I think they're in this bucket of the Colts.
Yeah.
They're in this Colts territory where, hey, they're good. They're better than expected. Fundamentally, they do a lot of the little things the right way. Drake May has had a huge second-year leap, right? They've been playing up here. Granted, the schedule has been pretty easy for the most part. They've been playing up here. But are they really up to this level? Or like the Colts, are they more here? And we're waiting for that regression to kick in. Luckily for New England, the schedule has been extremely favorable. They only have a few tough tests. Yeah, they went on the road and they beat Buffalo. That's no doubt. It's impressive. Got lucky against Atlanta. Parker fucking Romo can't make an extra point. Now they're going to Tampa. Off a bye. Dogs everywhere. Godwin should be back, I think. Secondary should be getting healthier. Defensive line should be getting healthier. The defense has been playing great football.
Yep.
Bucky Irving should be back. Line could be a little bit healthier. Why would we not take Tampa here?
I like Tampa a lot.
I think we both like Tampa. But give me a reason why we wouldn't take them.
I don't know, man. Drake May might be the real deal. I think that'd be like my only fear, but I'm not like too afraid of it. Like, I don't have a good reason why I wouldn't take them, you know?
I think this is one-way traffic, Tampa. Their defense, man, really has played well. Their offense, Baker Mayfield hasn't had that like big game in a while. It's been a month since Baker Mayfield had a big game. He did not play well against Detroit. Statistically, he didn't play a bad game against New Orleans a couple weeks ago. He just didn't stuff the stat sheet because the game got out of hand. The defense did the scoring and put them in position. He got hosed. Emeka Ibuka couldn't hold on to a nice long touchdown. Kate Otten was down at the 6-inch line. So the numbers really, he hasn't stuffed the stat sheet. I'm kind of looking for that game this week from Baker. Get him right back in the MVP conversation. I think a lot of you are counting out Baker Mayfield for MVP. I still think he's in it.
I still think he's alive. I
think he's cooled. He's cooled a bit. I think he's out of the top 5 right now, but I think he's in the fringe. He's in the cusp right now for a few big games. He's right back in it. So if you haven't taken anything, I would suggest probably taking a little Baker Mayfield action for a 22-1 MVP. Kind of crazy though. Josh Allen's 150. Drake May's 4-1. It's just so nuts that Drake May's an MVP. I just don't buy that.
It's crazy.
Stafford's 550. I don't think Stafford's going to end up winning, unfortunately. I think they're not going to give it to him. Sam Darnold's 12-1. Sam Darnold was a long shot this year. I don't think Sam Darnold's going to get the MVP.
No. I had Sam Darnold, was that last year? And he was cooking until the end of the season, and Cinderella fell off. But I don't think there's enough media attention on him this year.
I don't think Darnold's going to get it. Herbert, no. Baker has a shot. Hurts, no. Love, no. Lamar, I think Lamar's just missed too much time. He was 100-1 before the Thursday game, and then got cut to 50-1 after the game. Now he's 30-1.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Lamar's going to get it. Do you?
No, I don't think he's going to. Not missing time. I don't think he's going to be good enough.
And the big thing is he lost to the Chiefs and the Bills.
Yep.
Those are big tiebreakers in the MVP race, not to mention the standings. But in any case, point is, I think Baker is still firmly in the mix. If you haven't gotten a piece, I think 22-1 solid, man. If they win, if the Bucks win this week,
yeah,
and Baker goes like 250, 2 scores, nothing flat, nothing crazy, but like a good game, 22-1 is going to be probably 13-1 next week.
Yep.
So this is the time to buy, I would say.
I agree.
And then he's right there in the NFC. But yeah, I like Tampa, man. I think they're going to have a big second half. All right, let's take a look real quick at Tampa's second half schedule. This is another reason why I think the MVP bet makes sense for Mayfield.
Okay.
So they have – hold on, it's loading. But they've got like a few tough games coming up. But then after that, oh, baby, it is a butter schedule. Bucky Irving and Godwin were not spotted this week at practice. That sucks. Hopefully they're back. All right, so they're home in New England this week. Then they're at the Bills. Then they're at the Rams. These are 3 big games for the MVP bid. But then this is what it is.
Yeah, hit me.
Cardinals home, Saints home, Falcons home, at the Panthers, at the Dolphins, home to the Panthers.
We talked about this at the beginning of the year, like how the end of their season is just really favorable.
We did. If Tampa goes at least 2-1 these next 3 weeks, that would put them at 8-3. They are set up to run the table potentially to finish the year and finish with 14 wins. That's big. That's big. Bro, listen, I think Tampa is a firm team to win the NFC this year.
Yep.
I think that is a solid bet. I think Baker to win the MVP right now is a very good bet because, listen, this is the same reasoning I had with Yamamoto to win the MVP, which, by the way, 20-1 took that home. A few things have to happen. Baker's stats got to keep going. They're going to get healthier. They're just going to continue to get healthier. But in the short term, if Baker's stats are good in the next 3 weeks and they win a couple of these games, that's going to not only put him in a really good position at the moment, but it sets them up for the rest of the year when you look at what their schedule is. That's a big one.
I can't remember what number I got Baker at. I'm trying to remember. I think I got him at 20, maybe.
Probably 35-1.
Oh, yeah, that sounds more like it. Yeah, somewhere around there.
So I actually might take a little Baker MVP straight. I think that's solid, dude. I really do.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we are on the Bucks train for this week. Yeah, Baker 17 on DK. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jackson Dart's favorite. You think Dart's going to win the Offensive Player of the Year if the Giants miss playoffs?
Nah, man. And I don't think he's been that good. I think he's turnover prone. I think we need Ibuka just to go out there and have get 2 more 100-yard games.
Yeah. Offensive Player of the Year is crazy. The value's just been zapped. It's JT and JSN. Yeah. Puka is in it. McCaffrey's just been fucking volume hogging his way. Chase is still there. Bijan's fallen off big. Bijan's like 30-1. Yeah, that's a tough one. But all right, let's keep it going here. Arizona at Seattle. Brad, I gotta say, man, you know how much I love the Seahawks coming into the year. I've been all over Seattle. Have I not? I've been all over JSN to have a huge year, lead the league in catches. Have I not?
You have.
Have I? Sam Darnold to have a huge year and repeat what he did in Minnesota last year. I said that, did I not?
You did.
I think Arizona's going to cover this game.
I do too.
And listen, I love Seattle. I do. I think they're playing great football. I'm honestly a little upset that they kicked the shit out of Washington so bad to the point where like it's becoming national with Seattle. It's like, oh, well, you know what? Like media, you know who the dark horse team in the NFC is? It's Seattle. Like, fuck you. No, we know, but you're not just gonna hop on this train now, baby. This train left the station preseason. But here's the thing: this game looks a lot different now than it did if Kyler Murray started.
Yes,
Jacoby Brissett, man. Like we're talking these quarterbacks this year. Jacoby Brissett, Bradford. He's been balling. He's not only keeping his team in these games that they really would have no business in, but they're winning some of them. Brissett is the complete opposite of Kyler Murray. He's a leader. He is a high floor guy. He doesn't make mistakes. He keeps the chains moving. He keeps the offense on schedule. And he's starting to unlock the talent of his best players. Kyler Murray's got a higher ceiling, but Brissett is just steady Eddie, and it's steady at a high level. And he's a veteran quarterback that going on the road in Seattle, I don't think it's going to bother him. 6.5 is a lot of points in a divisional game with Arizona, who's got talent. And listen, I think at some point there's going to be somewhat of a drop-off with the Seahawks. Not a huge drop-off, but enough to the point where it's like, okay, they're gonna start middling it down a little bit. 6.5 is a big number here. I think the Hawks win this game. I think they probably win by like 3 or 4. I could see this be something along the lines of like a 24-21 game in favor of Seattle, or a 24-20, right? Something like that. Why even fight it? Every week I say the same shit. JSN over catches JSN. Just keep feeding the beast. This dude's been awesome. Granted, Arizona's actually been pretty decent against wide receivers, but
you know,
it's JSN.
The Cowboys wide receivers were pretty open in that game.
Yeah,
like, they were pretty open.
Yeah, Dak missed Lamb for a tutty.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was Lamb's fault or Dak's
drops too.
Yeah, Lamb might have had a touchdown. He got shoelaced. So, Arizona, that defense definitely didn't shut him down as much as it looked like on paper. There was just some missed opportunities. JSN over catches, man, probably over yards. He's 99.5. It's crazy. JSN's getting into that Jamar Chase territory.
Wait, what's funny is like someone asked me in my Discord if I like JSN. I go, yeah, he should cook, but he's 98.5 receiving yards. I can't take that. Proceeds to make it look effortless.
It's crazy. It's crazy. He's been unbelievable. I'm like, I'll be honest. Look, I thought he was going to have a monster year, but I didn't even think he was going to be this big. Yeah, this is like, if I could equate it for you, those of you that follow me all year round with baseball, like Nick Kurtz.
My God.
Like Nick Kurtz, I thought was going to have a really big year this year if he was able to get up.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't take him preseason to win Rookie of the Year because I just didn't think he was going to have the opportunity to get up. But I knew he was going to be amazing because I saw him at Wake for years. But even at that level, I'm like, I think he's going to be really good. But I didn't expect what he did, like 36 home runs in 117 games, like went nuts.
Yeah.
Same thing with JSN. Like, I knew he'd be really good. He'd have a really good year, but this is a different stratosphere.
It's phenomenal. Great route runner.
Let me ask you though, real quick. Let's get off topic for a second. The offensive player of the year, how do you bet this? JT's minus right now. JSN is a short second option. Like, if you miss the boat, which I'm so mad at myself for not taking JT 22-1 after week 2. And then again, I literally looked at the number after week 3 and it was 15-1. I'm like, that's a really good bet. I should take JT.
Yeah.
That's a great bet. He's got a great shot. And for whatever reason, I can't explain it, I didn't take it. And I'm just like so mad at myself. And like, look, it probably would have been like 50, $100, nothing crazy, but still would have had a position. What do you take?
I think you have to sit out because my problem with when you have when you're going offensive player of the year and it's between a really freaking volume heavy running back and a wide receiver, I normally lean the running back because they're for sure going to get the red zone carries, right? So their ceiling for having the higher touchdown mark is much higher.
Yeah.
So I think JT wins it unless he gets injured. Now he is injury prone in this part of his career. You're playing against injury, then I think you'd go JSN because I don't think JSN volume stops with Shaheed. I think Shaheed sees a lot of some deep balls because Sam Darnold's a really good deep ball thrower, but I don't think he's gobbling up like 6 or 7 targets per game. I just think that's just unrealistic.
I mean, are you betting JT right now minus 135?
No.
No. Possibly. It's very, very interesting. But yeah, I like JSN to keep eating in this one. I think Arizona wins this or covers this game. I think Seattle wins. Another tough NFC West showdown, Brad. San Francisco is a 4.5 point dog at home to the Rams. I think the 49ers cover this one. This is the one team that the Rams have just not been able to solve year over year in the Sean McVay versus Kyle Shanahan era. They cannot solve this matchup.
It doesn't matter if the Rams are the better team on paper.
It doesn't.
It doesn't matter. Freaking Sean McVay gets outcoached by Shanahan every single time. It doesn't matter. And this year, it's probably it's probably the biggest gap in 3 years that these two teams have had. And I lean the 49ers covering because of what Sean McVay is little brothered by Kyle Shanahan. Always, bro. It's nuts.
It is so friggin' bizarre. It really is bizarre. I can't put a understanding on it. But yeah, I think I think San Francisco has a really good chance to win. I would take San Francisco to cover. I think San Francisco, I'll put it this way. I think San Francisco is a great teaser leg this week. Getting them at 10.5. I think San Francisco at 10.5 is great. We could do an NFC West teaser. Take San Fran up to 10.5 and take the Cardinals up to 12.5. I think the 49ers have a big one here. I think McCaffrey keeps eating. I think McCaffrey over probably a lot. But it's gotten to the point where the rush receiving has just gotten out of hand. Like at one point I think it was like 138.5 last week.
Yeah.
I don't know what he finished with. I mean, he had a big game. He cleared the receiving yards. The receiving was like 49.5. We had it on the show. He cleared that. I mean, he's been unbelievable just because he's getting so much volume, but it doesn't look like he's being offered yet. I don't think McCaffrey's not being offered yet. But it'll probably be another big number. But I like San Francisco to at least cover that game. Puka status too. Puka's in doubt here. That's a big one. Puka
Yeah. He was limited in practice today.
Is that a question?
Yeah, I'm asking. I can't remember. I think he was limited.
I think so.
It was like it sent out like some weird shit. Like,
do you know how he got hurt?
Rib injury is all I know. Yeah, he was limited, but the what I saw was
I'm saying, do you know the play he got hurt on?
Oh no, I don't.
He got hurt on a jet sweep. And he fell on top of the ball. No, he got the ball. I mean, it didn't matter, but at the time, I needed Puka. I had him over 7.5 catches. He had 6 catches at half. Got a 7th, and then he wasn't playing, and then he got hurt on a jet sweep. I'm like, dude, finished at 95 yards. It's comical. But But yeah, I think 49ers at least cover that game. Detroit Lions 8.5 at Washington. Jane Daniels, man, I feel bad for him. That was a brutal injury he had. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Brad,
Leaving the player in for too long.
Yeah, that was crazy. That's a fireable offense.
Jesus.
It's an 8.5-point number. Should be Mariota in. Now, granted, Mariota is probably one of the most capable backups in the NFL today.
Yep.
I think Detroit's gonna win big here. They burned us last week. I think we go back to the well with them. They're, I think, 12-0 against the spread off a loss in the Dan Campbell era. And it's not just that they lost; they got bullied, they got pushed around. That doesn't happen to a Dan Campbell-led team. It doesn't. I think Washington. I don't know, man. I'm not surprised that they've had a drop off from last year, that they regressed to the mean, but they're missing so much from last year. They don't have the attitude, they don't have the mentality on the actual roster front. They don't have anything close to the same defense they had last year. Now, granted, Jaden Daniels has been hurt, so that the continuity on offense is understandable. I thought trading Brian Robinson away was a bum decision. I thought that was dumb, and leaving the backfield in the hands of Bill Krusty Merritt, even before Eckler gets hurt. Like, that was your running game. Like, Brian Robinson might not be flashy, but he was solid. Brian Robinson would have.
I think it had to have been Brian Robinson wanted out.
Maybe. But they didn't really do anything to replace him in the running game. And then Eckler was so big out of the backfield last year.
Yeah.
So underrated. But look, man, I think the Lions on a revenge bounce back. They're hungry. I think they're gonna eat this week. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is gonna have a monster game. I think Amon-Ra is gonna go nuts. Like, Gibbs' is total of 70 rush yards. It's probably one of the higher rush yards we've seen from him. Not many props are offered, but
they need to give Gibbs the ball.
Well, that's the thing. Like, that's what I said before. Like, why? How do you not give your best player the ball? What am I? I'll tell you what I don't like. When it's rolling, when the Lions are in a good game script, when they're playing well, when they're in a groove, I don't mind the Jahmyr Gibbs one drive, David Montgomery another drive. But when you're in this mode where you got to come back and you got to start getting back into a groove, like, I don't approve of the switch off. I think Gibbs needs to be getting more of the workload. Because look, David Montgomery is a good running back, but he's a bruiser. He's that guy that's one cut downhill when you're trying to play with a lead. Now, Jahmyr Gibbs could be that guy as well with one cut up the field, but he also has the element in the receiving game. He's a game breaker from anywhere on the field. I think they're going to be a good tandem this week. I think the Lions are going to win big, dude. I think this is a huge bounce back spot. And Dan Campbell, it's not enough for him to win when he gets embarrassed. He's got to embarrass you. I think we're going to get that this week. On to Sunday Night Football, Steelers and the Chargers, 3 points. Brad, I'll let you start this one, buddy.
Man, I was wrong about the Steelers. I ignored that freaking stupid stat about Tomlin and losses and all
that.
That
stat didn't matter. That stat doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I think that all stats and trends can be skewed to make it look like you want. But the Chargers went out, got an offensive lineman because Alt got hurt again. Dude, I don't know, man. Can I be clueless about this game? Holy shit. I think the Chargers win and cover. I'm not the outside for, and I mean receivers for the Steelers is not a level that I want. They insist on going out of 12 and insist on getting guys like Darnell Washington involved when DK is just sitting there. When it's time for them to be playing in a losing script, they struggle to get the ball to the outsides because that's their game plan. It's just like football just doesn't work like that. If you're not consistently getting your guys involved when you really need them in demanding and mandatory situations, and you're not going to be able to flip that switch. So I think the Chargers can put up some points, which makes the Steelers less likely to cover the spread.
I think there's a huge letdown spot for the Steelers. I think it's a big letdown traveling east to west. Look, the Chargers, they didn't play great, but they should have covered. I mean, a pick six and a punt return touchdown were the reasons why they didn't. And I think they still put up 27 points, which is a good effort. And Herbert didn't play that great. They didn't run the ball. I'm so surprised Kamani Vidal had a stinker. He had a terrible game. I think the Chargers probably want to wash that one out too. Like, yeah, they won, but they didn't play great. I just see Pittsburgh as this team that how do I say it? I see Pittsburgh as this team that doesn't really have that next gear. They're not an extremely high ceiling team. They're not super high variance because the higher part of their variance isn't this team that you can make a case as a top 5 or even top 10 team in the NFL. But they usually don't have a low floor. You know what I'm saying? So their variance is pretty consistent. I think the Chargers are going to have a really good game in this one. I think at home laying 3. I think this is a good opportunity on Sunday Night Football in prime time for the Bolts to get ripping here.
Yeah.
So give me the Chargers. Talk to me about Kamani Vidal real quick with this run game.
Dude, they couldn't get him involved, man. Like, that was kind of a bummer. I'm about to take a player prop if they let me. I'm taking D'Angelo Russell over 5.5 assists right now. He plays for the Dallas Mavericks. And I'm going to play him. See what his double-double price is. Kind of sucky. I'll just put a small on his double-double. Yep. That works for me. I took D'Angelo Russell over 5.5 assists. Let me with Vidal. Sorry, I was distracted there. I just feel like when he gets the touches, consistent touches, he can be that big game back, because he's not like a big back by any means. So he's just not going to get like 50 yards on 10 carries unless he breaks one big one. But he does have explosiveness to break it. So I think it's just all about him getting the attempts. I think you can run the Steelers.
You're on Steelers?
No, I'm the Chargers. I said I think you can run on the Steelers.
Oh, sorry, I must have missed what you said. But yeah. Hopefully it's it.
I'm gonna put more on D'Angelo Russell. That number's a little stale, I guess.
All right, we wrap it up here with the Philadelphia Eagles at the Green Bay Packers 2.5. Brad, are they begging you to take Philly here, or are they begging you to take Green Bay? Because this is when I first saw this line, I was shocked that the Eagles are an underdog on Monday night coming off a bye.
Dude, you know what's funny? Oh, they limited me to only fucking put 100.
Would you focus worrying about the NBA? I mean, are you kidding me?
Dude, that's kind of shit.
The NBA sucks. The NBA is the worst.
Okay, I'm back. That's shit. They opened up my limits this morning. Now I can only bet $100. Anyways, all right. I was kind of shocked when I was looking at this game because, dude, so as everyone that we play fantasy, right? Well, I was looking at my fantasy team and I have Eagles D, and I was like, why the hell are Eagles projected 3 points against the Packers? Like, the Packers' best offensive weapon is now out for the season. If you don't think Tucker Kraft being out dynamically changes this team, you are smoking more than rocks. I just really think that the Eagles win and cover in this game. The Packers have been exposed. They are a good pass rush, but run defense is not where it should be. And I don't think the Eagles really care that this is an elite pass rush, because they're going to want to establish the run.
We talk about the secondary every week. Every week, the same story about the Packers defense. Yeah, their front seven's good. They get after the passer, but their secondary is questionable at best. Same story every week. I don't understand what's going on. I'm wondering if this is like do you remember a couple weeks ago when the Texans were a 2.5-point favorite over San Francisco? Is this sort of like the same thing? You know, is that in this neighborhood? Is that in this ballpark of like traps? Is Green Bay going to be a super sharp play this week? Look, I get it. It's bounce back spot off a terrible loss at home. Now you're at home again. Is that the play? Is that the handicap here? Because you have a Philadelphia team who's not only better than you roster wise, but they're off a bye. They're
Yeah.
rested. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for this
They
game.
need that bye for Saquon too.
Yeah, and not for nothing, like Green Bay does not have the pass catchers. Now you lose Tucker Kraft for the year. That's brutal. You lose your best pass catcher. He's done. He's on the shelf. Like where are we going? Maybe if Green Bay can run the ball down their throats with Jacobs and Emmanuel Wilson, then something could change. But I really just don't understand it. I don't know what we're seeing here, what we're missing, why Green Bay's the favorite. I mean, it's weird that they're only 2.5 points. Almost, I feel like they're begging to take Green Bay on a bounce back spot inside of 3.
Begging you, but the loss of Tucker Kraft is so huge.
I get it. I agree.
Plays a bigger role.
I agree with you. I don't know where the handicap is. Green Bay's got this weird Jekyll and Hyde, thing they have going on where 1 week they look amazing, next week they look like dog shit.
Yeah.
I like Philly. I think Philly's a solid play. I'd take a look at maybe some Devontae Smith props, maybe some Arthur Shelby Brown prop. I don't see why I would take Green Bay. Maybe Love has one of those signature games. Defense makes a couple plays. Parsons does a big one. Revenge spot against a old NFC East foe. But, I mean, Wednesday night, I'm thinking about this on Philly. Maybe over the course of the week, I take a closer look and realize, hey.
I don't know.
But I don't know if I'll see that. But what I will always see is how valuable and how much of a stud you are, Brad. Always appreciate you and your time and your analysis. Everybody, thanks so much for spending your Wednesday evening with us here. Brad, I won't see you Sunday.
Yeah, man. I will see you next Wednesday, dude, or Tuesday.
Nope. Tuesday. We FYI, we are moving the show next week to Tuesday. So it will not be Wednesday for the week 11 show. It will be Tuesday night. So plan your schedules accordingly. Brad, we're going to have a big one this week. You know what I'm going to do, though? I'm going to make sure that you are at least making an appearance Sunday morning.
All right. Just send me the link. I'll jump on from the tailgate.
Drunk. I expect you fully shit-faced, hammered, half in the bag, whatever. I'm expecting fully uncut Brad Thomas.
We'll see.
Everybody, thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you here Sunday morning. Ciao.